Yo, what? Oh, yo, yo, that's crazy, bro. I first thought of doing like a Goku Black transition where I'm like, and then I pull up, and I was like, nah, maybe I should still do that. But yeah, man, y'all finally seen your boy. I just never had like a proper webcam setup, you know, like even this with the lighting, I feel like it's kind of trash. This is not even my regular setup, so I had to like try to make some up, but I hope it's fine. But with that being said, bro, thank y'all for 10K. Appreciate y'all, much love. The channel has grown a lot, and like I said in my last video to prepare for the Q&A, I feel like we got to vibe recently. Y'all got to know the real me, and y'all got to see me now. Tight shit. But yeah, man, it's been a fun journey. Thank y'all for sticking by. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for 10K. Hopefully we can keep growing and continue with the DBFZ grind, continue with the gaming grind. That will never stop. But with that being said, it's time to go with that Q&A. Time to answer some questions, you feel me? So I think how I will divide it is that I'll do the first half of this video, more like personal questions to get to know me and stuff. And the second half will be more like Dragon Ball FighterZ related questions. A lot of questions I can go like really in depth with, but I don't want this video to drag on too long. So I might have to shorten it here and there, you feel me? But yeah. First question, Iron Scorpion, thank you, my boy. And he asking me, what was my first introduction to Dragon Ball, bro? I got a story for y'all, man. So when I was a wee little one, I would come home back from school and like, you know, put the TV on, whatever. And my older brother, I have two older brothers. I have one older brother, the oldest one. He was into Dragon Ball at the time, and he was in the basement, right? So I was upstairs probably doing whatever, and then I'd be sneaking in the basement or probably doing homework. Sneaking in the basement, I'm like, yo, what you watching? Because we only had one PC at the time, and back in the day, bro, that's crazy. Back in the day, we didn't really have technology, right? So all the homework would be like paper, because I know now y'all be doing it online and stuff. So then I'm looking at the PC, and then I was in the corner, and he's watching some like anime. I'm like, what is this? What type of cartoon? Because I only know Ben 10, you know, the cartoons that I knew. Ben 10, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't know much about anime at the time, right? I guess like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is considered anime. But anyways, I'm like, yo, this kind of fire. And it was Prime Namek arc. So right before Goku turned Super Saiyan, they were like throwing hands. I think Goku just arrived on the planet. And there was like Vegeta in them fighting the Ginyu Force. So the first introduction to anime like ever was just Dragon Ball. Like they were throwing hands. And I was like, yo, this is sick. So every day after school, I would pull up. I'll bring my chair next to him. He'd be watching. And then I saw Goku turn Super Saiyan. And bro, that was crazy. I didn't know how to pirate stuff at the time. I didn't know how to like watch it without him. So what would end up happening is that from there, I would go on like TV, go on different channels. And then I found out that late at night, they would play different animes, bro. So late at night, they will play Naruto. They will play Bleach. And then that's how I slowly went from Dragon Ball to Bleach to Naruto. Bleach was crazy because Bleach was like swearing. It was like so graphic, all the blood. And like, I don't know which version of Dragon Ball I saw, but it was like not as much as what I saw from Bleach at the time. And this was early Bleach as well. So that's kind of how I went into it. And then I finally figured out how to like watch videos on my own. And then I started watching Dragon Ball, finished it. I got really into art, drawing the Dragon Ball art style. Went to GT, video games, and the rest is history, bro. Iron Scorpion had a couple questions I'll get back to later, but next question, talking about like my favorite shows, and if I watch One Piece, boy, if you know me, you know I love One Piece. Favorite show. Do I play any One Piece games, bro? This is why I pray for like a One Piece FighterZ. I will go all into that. One Piece changed my life, bro. Changed my life. Absolute cinema. Can I show off some One Piece merch? I didn't know what shirt to wear. I don't really have like Dragon Ball shirts, but this is like a One Piece little shirt, you know, Doflamingo, one of my favorite characters. Also crazy because he matches with like Goku Black's aesthetics, you know, the rose. I also wear this because of Ace, you know, more lore into that another time maybe. But it kind of grew on me, you know, like One Piece, big part of my life. And as for video games, I've played One Piece Pirate Warriors. I played like all those fun ones, but I wish there was a fighting game, man. If there was a fighting game for One Piece, I'll go like all in on that. I did play Burning Blood, and I've been meaning to make a video on Burning Blood, so stay tuned for that. But huge One Piece fan, bro. Like I could talk about it all day. I've rewatched it 4 times, bro. That's crazy. Oh yeah, and my favorite food, bro. My favorite food, if you know me, noodles. Oh my god, all types of noodles, like just instant ramen packs, or like, you know, those broth ones, or like, you know, fried noodles. Like, bro, I'm just a big noodle guy, bro. What can I say, bro? All right, so this next question is gonna be a combination of a lot of different questions from everyone. Like, do I have hobbies outside of it? And my main hobby, is hooping. So my favorite sport, Rodimus, basketball. Do I still hoop? Yes, sir. So I had the friends trip where I got to play at like a low level there. And then since then, I've still been grinding. I thought I would keep continuing with that, but things didn't really work out. But we'll see. I'll still try to pursue it. As for my go-to moves, man, for the three, I'll play some clips actually. Why not let it fly? For 3-pointers, I love me a little sidestep 3-ball. That doesn't come out often, but when it does come out, it gets me so hyped. One of my favorite ways to get a 3-ball off, especially like pickup, just for fun. Different types of side steps, of course. And I also have like a drop cross, very shifty. I like to shift my mans. And also the snatch. But the snatch, you get a lot of options. And as I've grown as a guard, as a ball handler, the snatch has been huge. Because not only is it good against physical defenders, but also, you know, change of speed. You can do a cross after, you can go in your bag. It's basically like combos in Dragon Ball FighterZ, you know? It's more like neutral, actually. Because it's like, if you fire a lariat and then they back dash, you know, what do you have after that? Or if you dash in, how do they react? And then based on how they interact, that's where you make a read. So in basketball, I try to look at that from a really high level perspective, and that's kind of what translated to Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that's why I'm really good at analyzing Dragon Ball FighterZ and really good at teaching that as well. I also coach basketball, so I kind of have that vision, kind of have that mindset of like teaching. So it all kind of relates to each other. The way that I approach Dragon Ball FighterZ is kind of the same way I hoop. It's kind of crazy. So do I draw or whatever? And like I said earlier with Dragon Ball, that got me into art. So I'll actually show some of my pieces right now. I haven't drawn in a while though. I want to get back into digital art though. So the thing about digital art, you can like save a copy, make multiple different copies, have different color schemes to it, blah blah blah. And it's so much easier to color, especially because you don't need to like buy a bunch of different colors and like blending, and you can undo and stuff like that. So I do want to get into digital art, and maybe I'll make posts about that too, make quick sketches, because I feel like, you know, an hour a day could be nice to go back into it. But you know, I was kind of cooking up. I remember with my Goku Black piece, I posted that on Reddit, and then people were like, yo, this is traced, this is fake, this is blah blah blah. And then this guy had to pull up some next app to show that it wasn't traced because it was so imperfect. I was like, thanks, I guess. I don't know, but art is really fun. It just takes so long, bro. As for music, got a little piano. Maybe I'll play some for y'all. I don't know. I need to get back at that. What's my craziest relationship story? Alright, I have a bunch of different like drama stories, but I have one that I always tell. So I'll make like a TLDR of this. Maybe we'll get more story time videos, because I do love me a little story times, right? So basically, I was in uni, first year. First year is always gonna be crazy, obviously. And then I was talking to a shawty, and then she was with like a group of friends, and then I was just like being myself, and we were vibing, right? We went out like with the group, like all our groups together. We're going out, we're exploring campus. This was the first week. So the first week is when we have this thing called Welcome Week, and it's basically a bunch of like, I think most schools do this here, I don't know about anywhere else, but the first week there's no classes. You just move in early, and then you do a bunch of activities to know people from your faculty, to know people in the school, blah blah blah, and also understand the school layout, right? So a bunch of different activities. And then we were vibing, so then I went back to like her dorm, and then whatever, right? A couple of days later, I think the next day actually, I remember I was roommate with someone else, and then he didn't come for the first week because I think he was busy or whatever. So I had my whole like room for myself, which was kind of nice. And then I remember I was texting her, I was like, oh, I'm gonna leave the door unlocked, you can come whenever. Ooh. And then I fell asleep, bro. I fell asleep, and she comes running and bursting through the door. Ah, I know what you did. I'm here sleeping, right? I'm like, oh, huh? You know, when you just like first wake up, you don't know what's going on. It's like, who is this? What's going on? And she's screaming. She's like, I know what you did, blah blah blah. And mind you, I didn't do nothing. I just had fun all day. I don't think I saw her all day. And I was like, what is going on? And then she just runs out storming. I just fell back asleep. Next day, I'm texting her. I don't think she answers, and I don't hear from her at all from that. So I was like, okay, like whatever. Like we just hung out one time. A couple days later, bro, I'm getting food in the cafeteria. Mandem pulls up on me, like this guy hooded up, right? And he's like this, right? He's like this, like holding something, right? And he's like, yo, are you Zayn? I'm like, yeah, that's me. The fuck? Who's you? He's like, oh, I need to talk to you. Pull up to the side. The fuck? Like threat, like doing that, right? I'm like, damn. And I was with my friends, and I just like, they were ahead of me. I was at the back of the line, and I was like, oh shit, like do I call them? I was like, nah, no way, right? So I just pull up, like no way, nothing crazy is gonna happen, right? So I pull up to the side of like the cafeteria area, the food area, whatever, and then he was talking. He's like, oh, I heard you were in so and so's room. I was like, shit. And he was like, what were y'all up to? And I was like, oh, we're just chilling, right? Like what am I supposed to do, bro? And he's like, oh, I'm her man, or something like that. Some great, like So I was like, damn, like I didn't know, bro, my fault. And he was like, don't ever talk to her ever again. And he's like pressing up on me, and I'm like, alright, bro, like I ain't even spoken to her in days. She just came running my room one day. Maybe it was related to that, I don't know. Maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he heard from someone else, I don't know. And then afterwards, he's like pressing up on me, trying to scare me or whatever. He's like, if I ever see you talking to her again, you know what's up, something like that, right? And he's like still poking his, I guess, like his shank or whatever outside. And I was like, damn, like my fault, gang, like I didn't know it was like that. He leaves, and I'm like, damn, I tell my friends, like, crazy story, obviously. And they're all like, whoa, making these theories, blah, blah, blah. I see her a couple days later. She comes up to me, and she apologized. She's like, oh, sorry. That was my ex. Like, we used to talk. Huh? So I'm not adding up. And then she was like, she thought. Nah, this is the craziest part. She was like, she thought you were the other Zayn I hung out with.
Bruh.
What? The thing is, I never met another Zayn in my life until I got to that school, right? And that other Zayn was also a hooper. That's how we became friends in like the first day or whatever. Because like I was hooping and then he was hooping, so I saw him. And it was like, bro, how do you get with both Zayns? And then he confused me for the other one. What? So yeah, that was kind of funny still. What inspired me to start making guides and if I write script and all that. So for guys, I always wanted to be like a YouTuber. I wanted to be a content creator. And then I remember UI Goku came out, and then I started posting like montages. And there was one event. I thought it was dumb, right? But this video took off for some reason. It was basically when UI first came out, his 2H was like unpunishable. So then I went to the lab, and then I figured out that if you like do an instant air dash, you can punish it. And then there's also like character specific options that also deal with like his 2H and 214H. And basically that video kind of took off. I don't know why. And I really fell in love with the high level aspect of Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that was never really taught. Like everyone was just posting gameplays, everyone was just posting like how to do this combo, how to do that, but no one spoke about neutral, no one spoke about movement, no one spoke about pressure. And that's how I kind of like got more into it, because I would watch tournaments. I'd be like, yo, not just their defense, but like the way they interact, especially the EU fellas, they completely changed my mindset. And I wanted to get better at the game. And how else to get better than by teaching others, right? So then as I progress, my guys were kind of documenting what I was learning, and I kind of share what I was learning with you guys, so then we kind of learn together. And it's just like editing is always something I've liked. So then just that mixture of high level and editing, especially because I like to do high level stuff in other aspects of my life as well, it just kind of like added up. And then that's how videos got created, and then it just took off from there. As for scripts, you can kind of tell when I have a script written versus when I'm trying to do like live, but I usually have at least notes, right? So even if in my live commentary guides that aren't as well edited, because I just want to like get them out ASAP, like speed run that. So that's the thing. If I want more content out, it's less effort, and sometimes I do kind of make that trade, and I'm aware of that. But then, you know, a lot of the time I do fully write my script and then I voice over it all in one take after, and then that's nice. I do prefer that, but that takes longer, especially before I did commentary stuff. Those videos were a lot easier to edit, because even if I didn't know what was going on and discover tech after, it's so much easier to add it back in versus if I do a voiceover and I forget something, I need to add it back, you feel me? So what made me get into content creation? So I always loved being like a social guy. I always loved making people laugh, and then I would always watch YouTubers at home. And then YouTubers, I love their energy, you know, and I always wanted to be an entertainer too. And not only to be like famous and like play games for a living, like obviously that would be like a nice goal long term, but also just interacting with people, improving at stuff. And I just love editing. I love creating stuff. I love teaching. I love showing things, making my own thing, because I was really like a creative kid in school on the assignments, on the creative assignments. You have to build your own projects, but I went off. Like, I loved origami stuff. I love building things, putting things together. Content creation was always something I wanted. So my ideal like dream world, right, would be to be like a pro overseas player while being a gaming content creator, while doing vlogs and stuff. I feel like that would be the dream, but yeah. And I think this is a good question to translate into by Newton, my boy. I saw you used to post 2K videos. When made you start upload anime games like Naruto, My Hero, and eventually FighterZ? So obviously growing up, basketball. So that's why I was big onto 2K. All your homies are playing it. You know, you boot up with your friends, you go to park. So basketball was always a big part. One of my favorite animes growing up was also Kuroko no Basket. So what I would do is that I would recreate not only my like high school teams, whatever teams, into 2K and play as them, but I would also recreate like the Kuroko no Basket stuff. And then I was planning on that's where I would start my YouTube stuff, but I didn't know nothing about content creation, right? So I didn't have no setup, nothing. So then I would make like compilation montages, and that's when my love for editing started. Cause like you can check out my 2K video. I had like a bunch of effects on it. It wasn't that good, but bro, I had to manually mask every frame, every body part, like. And the thing is, as much as I liked it, it just took so long. Like it took months, right? So on top of school, so I never really had enough time for that. But then I got a lot better. I remember like I would face like streamers and stuff. I was never that good. I put a lot of like online and stuff. And the reason why I transitioned to anime games is because when I was growing up, I was only allowed 1 game per year. So that's crazy. So the big thing is that my brothers will buy 2K. They will buy sports games. They will buy 2K. They will buy FIFA. And then I would always have access to those because I would share with my brothers, right? But when my mom asked me what game I wanted, I only had one choice. So we obviously already had 2K. We obviously already had like sports games and stuff. So then the only game that I could ask after getting my love for anime is an anime game. So sometimes I would ask for like, you know, Dragon Ball. I probably asked for like Dragon Ball Raging Blast. Next year I asked for like Bleach Soul Resurrection or Naruto. Like it was always 1 game a year, right? And then obviously get better at the games, but a lot of it was just offline. So like the story modes. That's why Xenoverse was really fun to like get all the trophies, and so I got a big passion for trophy hunting as well. And this is how I got into Dragon Ball FighterZ. It was during college, so first year of college I think. And then I didn't bring my setup with me, obviously, even though some kids did. I was like mad surprised about that. Like they brought their whole like PC setup. I was like, damn. So then I didn't really have anything. I just had like my computer, my big chunky ass computer next to everyone else's like MacBooks and stuff. And then in uni, that's when I got back to Dragon Ball Super, because I took a huge hiatus from anime because I was just so busy from basketball. So all I would do is eat, sleep, hoop, watch basketball, watch NBA, get better at it, blah blah blah. So I stopped watching anime. In college and uni though, I had so much time, so then I started watching like anime on the side too, like an episode a day. And that's how I got back into Dragon Ball Super, and that's when I fell in love with like Goku Black as a character, right? I picked up Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 2 didn't have Goku Black. I was like, bro, I would go back home, visit for like a few weeks, especially during the breaks, and I play it and it's like, no Goku Black, the fuck. And then I saw Syriax actually got me into Dragon Ball FighterZ. Ain't that crazy? So I saw him playing and he was maining Goku Black. I was like, bro, Goku Black looks sick in this game. I need it. I got the game, bro. Oh my god, my whole mind exploded. I wish sport games behaved like the FGC. I wish it was like that, because basketball in real life is like a skill thing, right? Like you get better at ball handling, shooting, blah blah blah. But the biggest gripe I had with video games and sport games, especially 2K, is like anyone just upgrades their player, you know, 99-3, you just press hold, you get it in, that's it. Like I don't know, there was really that skill aspect missing from sport games, especially because like you can do stuff in sport games that you can do in real life, which like I was like, bro, I can do a sidestep, but I can't do a sidestep 3 in the game. So then fighting games came and it was like, bro, you can control every aspect, every little detail. You can control that. Every little combo you can do, like, and it's behind this huge skill ceiling that only fighting games had at the time, especially because it was my first fighting game. So that blew my mind. Fell in love with the process because I just love the grind in general. And then from there, NovaZayn was created. But in terms of other games, so what other games do I play now? Honestly, fighting games influenced me so much that I only play fighting games. And like, I just like the aspect that you have to get better at something, and every time that you play a fighting game you feel like you progress. And I have like no time. There was a question, I'll try to find this question after, but there was a question I was like, how do you have so much time to like balance it, right? So the thing is, I don't have time, and the time that I do have, all of it is for content creation now. So I try my best to get these contents out. Combo guys, again, like I said, are very easy to make, so that's why I'm like focusing on those. But everything I do seems to be for the YouTube, so it kind of sucks because I feel like I don't really game anymore like I used to. I don't really get that opportunity to play games for fun, which is like, it's my decision. Like obviously YouTube and editing is fun too, but I kind of want that long-term goal for YouTube. And the thing is, when I pick up a new game, I need to get better at it and I need to improve before I put content. I'm not really like good enough, I guess, to put content out right away. Like I need to learn the game. Like I want to get good first. I don't think I'm big enough to just play any game for fun. So I feel like I need to bring that, like, you know, high level aspect to it, right? But besides that, the last game that I played was probably like One Piece Pirate Wars, because I was trying to get a platinum for that. And even then, that was kind of relating to me wanting to make a video about getting all platinum trophies and stuff. But then what happened was that I got PC, and then I got a bunch of games on PC, so I was like, ah. But yeah, if I could play, I would play a lot of RPGs, because I really like Sword Art Online Lost Song, like those type of games I really liked. I didn't get a chance to play Kakarot, but I feel like I would love it. And I feel like as the channel gets bigger, I will play those other games as well, so I can show that off on the channel as well. And hopefully, I can kind of get less busy so I can play more, but we'll see how that goes too. Also, the idea of co-op games. I think someone else asked this. Let me see. Yeah, Sub-Zero, thank you, homie. You asked to play the Neo series as well for co-op. So co-op will be really fun, actually. I know Revenant and I have played Bleach, Rebirth of Souls together. It's always a fun vibe. It's just hard to set it up. I think I'm just intimidated by it, and I think those videos won't do well. So that's kind of what I'm worried about. I'm really focused on trying to get bigger before I go into even more variety, because I feel like the variety isn't too good as I'm small, or maybe I'm thinking of it wrong. Maybe I should be doing variety and then growing from there, and hopefully we can go into that co-op route as well. Also, the wifey Zayn is crazy. I was thinking about that. That would be really fun as well. I did ask for like a Nuzlocke idea with wifey Zayn. Wifey Zayn is crazy. I did ask for a co-op idea and she would be down, so maybe I might have to make a separate channel for that too. I was thinking about that, but I think that would be really dope, and that would be like a fun vibe as well. Oh yeah, I never really answered this. Have I played the Neo series? I have not, but I have heard good things, so I might look into that as well, especially with like the co-op abilities of it. Carbonated Soup, do I play Smash Bros? I play with the homies, but I've never been too much into those type of games. I forget what you call those, but there were a couple of different games that I played with that style, and it looks fun. It's so hard. It's just a complete, it's kind of like fighting games with a complete different genre, right? So that's been a bit challenging, and then I kind of never really thought about it a lot since then. I just play for fun with friends, but I do see some hype clips and stuff. I do like how they have a bunch of different characters, so like that's pretty sick. How they have Mewtwo and other characters from different titles together. I really like that. It's kind of like the Jump Force stuff. The Jump Force stuff is really cool. I wish I had a Jump Force fighting game. That would be really cool too, but that's just impossible to balance. As for my FGC journey, I feel like my FGC journey has kind of just begun. With Dragon Ball FighterZ, that was the only game, and it was a lot of personal growth for me, trying to understand the game, and then that led to, you know, not only teaching you guys. It's kind of like Tiny Toric's reason for making guides. He said he first made guides because Beerus was really confusing and there was no videos on Beerus, so he made a Beerus video for himself, for him to look back on, and people loved it. Then that kind of, you know, escalated, snowfalls, what do you call that? I don't know what you call that, but accumulated into this end product of Tiny Toric, which is no longer with us, bro. RIP. And the thing is, what I mean by my FGC journey has just begun is that now I'm diving into Guilty Gear Strive. Now I'm diving into other games. You know, Grand Blue was kind of fun, but I'm also looking forward to like Tokon, also looking forward to Invincible as well. So those fighting games will be interesting to play, but nothing hits as much as Dragon Ball FighterZ. That's what's kind of cheeses me. I wish ArcSys did another anime game like Dragon Ball FighterZ. When they did Tokon, it kind of made me sad, because that made me realize like, oh, that means that we won't get like an anime ArcSys fighting game for a while either, because Tokon is taking, you know, priority. Ideally, I wish like a One Piece FighterZ would come out. Oh my god, my life will be yours, bro. Dead ass, like dead ass. Hopefully FighterZ can keep supporting me, because I do like making content on FighterZ, but I feel like that's kind of holding me back. I feel like I do need to dive into these newer games and make content on these newer games and grow as well, but I don't know. I need to figure that out too. What do I think of the current state of Rebirth of Souls? Thank you for the question, Dark World Edit. So I really like the patches, how it's been going. The patches have really been improving everything. You know, the follow-up on block, they increase the momentum, they increase the space of the game, they increase the skill gap, they increase the skill ceiling, I think. And I think the biggest green flag about the game is the DLCs, bro. Like when Yu Baha came out, the last DLC, they gave him insane amounts of specials, right? They gave him like the up directions, the down directions, and no other characters have that. So I think it's like a good sign, because that might mean that they might do like a revamp for every character to get like up and down inputs, and maybe even motion inputs. Motion inputs will be really sick for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. The thing is, the game should have been a fighting game, to be honest. It should have been a traditional fighter, because it has so much depth to it. But I think, you know, anime games in general are always scared, so they try to stay in that arena fighter, because they're scared of like the casual audience. Because fighting games are a lot harder, and people drop fighting games a lot earlier, right? And every DLC also deals with the meta problem, so that's really good. They were really like receptive at first, but now it's been quiet. I don't really know why, so hopefully they're cooking something up, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll stay tuned. I'm hoping for stuff too, because I have some content I'm just kind of like leaving aside, because I don't know if the updates will come anytime. All right, time for some DBFZ stuff. First question, I think it's a good one to start with. Is it too late to start DBFZ? No. The reason why it's not too late to start is because you have so many resources accessible to you. If you started even before without these resources, it's so much harder to learn, right? But with these resources, bro, my channel, other channels, your growth will be so accelerated. Like, I've seen people improve extremely fast at the game. So I think it's a really good time, especially with the patches, especially with every character being good. So if you like a character, pick that character. Almost every team works. You know, at lower levels, every team works. You know, as you get better, you need to think more about, you know, structure, game plan, etc. And with Daima coming up too, bro, everyone's gonna come back, because rank is a bit rough as a newer player, because it's only the OGs that stay. Everyone at the lower levels kind of drop it. At the mid level, it's kind of non-existent. With all these resources, man, you can make big improvements. Just fall in love with the process. Don't fall in love with the results. Fall in love with the process and have fun with it. And how do you lose fear to play ranked matches? So basically, ranked is actually your best friend, because when you play ranked, you're gonna get matched up with newer players as well at that low ranked. Make sure that you play on like peak times though, like not like 2 a.m. right? Trying to maximize your odds. If you go in casuals, they don't care about rank. So in casuals, you will probably face a really good players. So when I play too, I feel like I get the best sets on casuals. All the real players be on casuals for real, because you can just end this rematch, right? So casuals a bit more intimidating. And if you care a lot about your points and stuff, if you're scared about ranked, I suggest just making a new account. Because as soon as you can detach yourself from your point system, you can also turn that setting off on your player card, so people don't see how many games you play. People don't see that if that's what's kind of scaring you. And then once you forget about that, once you stop caring about your points and your ranks, it doesn't matter if you lose, right? You're just trying to get better at it. And I feel like rank, especially at the lower level, is one of the best places to play to actually face players around your level. So once you get that mentality, I think it'll help you out. But you can also just create another account if you really care about ranked. And if you lose, who cares, bro? Again, fall in love with the process, and then you'll start getting better at the game too. So what made me stick to FighterZ even in 2026? So have attachment issues, bro? Nah. So a big thing is that I just love the game so much. I just love every aspect of it. I just keep getting better, right? There's just no limit, especially with the way that I play. The way that I play, it's not like some turn-based game. It's not like I want to lock you down and make my opponent not play at all. I love playing that interactability part. You know, the mind game, understanding every character's tools, trying to master every character. So character mastery, for me, it's being able to maximize all of their tools and be able to use their best options at any given time. And every game I play, bro, is just so different. Of course, you're gonna have games where you get steamrolled, where you steamroll others, especially if you make wrong decisions and stuff. But yeah, I just wish that I had more time to grind it a little bit more, because I feel like a lot of things got worse. Like, even though my knowledge got better, I feel like my execution isn't as good as before. My defense isn't as good as before. It's because before I used to play it daily, right? But now I just don't have time, like I said earlier. So it's a bit hard, but I really do love it. And I feel like now that there's less people making content, like guides for it, I kind of saw this opportunity for me to kind of strike. And I feel like that kind of helped with the 1.42 patch. Because the 1.42 patch, my channel got like a huge boost from it. And I wish I could keep building off from that, but I don't know, I need to be better as a YouTuber, I think. And some things that I missed from the previous seasons, I do miss punishes being easier. So it's not that I think neutral is gone, footsies is gone. A lot of people think that. I think footsies are even cracked. Like, you have to be even better at it. How, you know, beams into super dash, for example, I kind of miss how that was a lot easier to punish before with like just a dash jump. But now you have to be so sharp. There's just a lot more speed to the game. And not every character feels like they can keep up with that speed, or at least I don't feel like I'm good enough with every character to keep up with that speed. And I don't like the mentality of players now. That's something that I kind of miss. I feel like a lot of players are very like complaining. They're stuck in how it used to be, and they don't want to improve. And them not improving is kind of hurting their image of Dragon Ball FighterZ. I feel like Dragon Ball FighterZ isn't as bad as like these older players say, the ones that dropped it. I feel like they just have this stubbornness to try to like switch their approach to the game and stuff like that. But yeah, and what I really like about it now is that the variety of it is, oh my god, like low-key 1.42 might be my favorite version of the game. Low-key, like I thought 1.38 would be my favorite version of the game, but 1.42 with every character variety, new teams, new expression, endless expression. Can't go wrong, bro. Which rank am I on DBFZ? So when I used to play ranked on DBFZ, I had to reach RoS. After I hit RoS, I stopped playing ranked. I went back to survival mode for ranked. I'm on survival mode right now. Where are we at? Living Legend, I think. So yeah, we're gonna try to get to Zeno with it, I guess. But survival mode is basically like taking a randomizer and they only have one life, basically. Yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough. Do I think I have what it takes to play pro? I think anyone has what it takes to play pro. It just takes a deep understanding of the game, or not play pro, not be pro, but to compete. I think anyone can compete. It just takes a lot of practice and a lot of understanding. If I do want to compete, I would have to spend a lot of time getting better at the game, and I would have to invest because I don't play the game as much as I'd like to. I only play like when you guys see me streaming, when you guys see me in matchmaking. Besides that, it's very rare that I play, unless if I'm recording like a survival mode video or something like that, right? Unless if I'm recording clips. But I am going to try to get better with that. I feel like trying to play daily 30 minutes so you can get better at it, to keep your reactions fresh, is really good. I would have to run like defensive drills. I would have to play against other people who compete. I would have to optimize team building as well, optimize my setups. But I think if you're grinding in that environment, and if you're constantly being involved in a high level environment, you will improve, you will become a stronger player. So I think anyone can do that, but it just takes a while to get to that point. And I do need to, you know, pull up to more local events too. Rodimus, thank you, homie. So proudest set or tournament run. So that's the thing about my FGC journey I was talking about earlier. I kind of really want to improve that because I've barely been in tournaments. Besides like some of yours, I think I've been in like a few others online, and I've been on like the ones that I host, obviously, but those aren't like, you know, real offline tournaments. So I do need to get in my tournament bag. But in terms of like proudest run, I guess yours, because you had like a cool graphic for it. So that was really nice to be like on that graphic. And what's harder, neutral, defense, or team building? For me, I've never struggled with team building, because it's like, just pick your favorite characters, see what their best slots are, and see how they work together. And then, you know, if you have one of your favorites that kind of fits with your two other favorites, like play them. So team building has always been about play what you like to me. I think creating your own high level team is very hard. Neutral is probably the hardest, because defense is a lot of reaction stuff. Even though there is that interactability component to it, I think neutral brings that interactability and mind games to a further level. And because it's so fast, defense, at least you know, like, you're defending, but in neutral you constantly shift from defense and offense. You constantly shift from using your options, from whiffing, from trying to punish. There's just so much to keep track of. Assist on top of that, resources on top of that. Versus defense, you're more locked into one thing. So that's why I think neutral is the hardest. All right, top 3 favorite characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ. That depends, because there's like characters like top 3 designs. Because for example, Gogeta was my favorite fusion, but in Dragon Ball FighterZ, I don't really like Gogeta. I don't know why. Goku Black, favorite character. Dragon Ball FighterZ, he's pretty cool. I feel like they could have done a better job. I feel like his expression is kind of lost sometimes, but I guess I'll put Goku Black in there. I really like Gohan's level up system. I really like Frieza and his golden install, bro. Like the Frieza bombos are crazy. That's really fun to watch. I really like Beerus too. And there's just so many ways to play Beerus, but the way that I'm thinking of playing Beerus is just kind of sick, like manipulating orbs in neutral to lock down different zones, or in pressure to manipulate the orbs being around and stuff like that. But it's very hard to play like that. I really like Kid Buu, bro. Kid Buu is so sick. His combos, one of the most unique combo structures in the game. And then his neutral patterns too is very interesting. But his mix potential is really cool as well. Majin 21 is really sick with the steals mechanic. So creative, you feel me? And then I don't know, I feel like the Broly's are really cool. Just every character is so cool and unique. But I think like my favorites overall with playstyles and stuff, it will be Goku Black, Kefla, Gohan, and that's probably why I play them. So this is what I always preach. I love the interactability of it, man. I love neutral. I love movement. I love movement. That's why I have so much movement stuff. That's why I have like movement compilations too. I feel like there's just so much sauce, so much depth to the movement. The movement is so free flowing and so interactable. I like, you know, trying to think what my opponents think. I like trying to be in their heads. I like maximizing my reaction times. You know, using different toolkits together, combining strategies together, movement strategies. Especially when you can get a confirm off of it. Confirming off like a stray hit in neutral. Movie. And I really love pressure, like the mind games for that, bro. Especially when it's done properly. When you land a solid frame trap and you know it's gonna land. There's no better feeling, bro. And the thing is, I'm not talking about like 50-50s. 50-50s or whatever. You can do a 50-50, guess high-low. Done, right? But pressure, bro. Like different patterns, different rhythms, spacing, space traps, DR crushes, high-level concepts. You know, using their reactions against them. Oh my god. Like, the layers are endless for pressure. I really like that as well. I really like movement. I love the defense aspect in Dragon Ball FighterZ. You know, unlike other FGCs, I feel like defense is really rewarded. Because there's also, you know, DR techs, block 6M, you go into a clash. I feel like the defensive system is really good. And my favorite thing about Dragon Ball FighterZ overall is just the back and forth nature of it. The interactability is really nice. Even against a really good player, the main thing that I like about it is that how you can never stop improving. Like even the pros, bro, the pros are getting better with new strategies, new characters, every time that I see them play. So it's really nice. I really like that. Who do I think is most underrated and overrated character right now? I think most overrated is Baby. Baby is cool, but I don't think he's like that crazy. And I think underrated might be Ginyu. Like a lot of people are aware of Ginyu, but not many people play Ginyu still. And I feel like Ginyu could dominate. Like a proper Ginyu is really good. Just characters that I don't see that I think could do really well at high level if they have that character mastery running accidentally. I feel like Beerus and Hit they could have a lot of interesting layers. And especially Kid Buu. I think I'm gonna stick with Kid Buu because Kid Buu might be the most underplayed but sauciest character. So I feel like he's mad underrated. Which character has the most swag? Which one's sauciest? Which one do you want to learn but don't really know how to play yet? Sauciest, most swag, Kid Buu. Sauciest, Beerus. And the one that I want to learn but don't really know how to play yet, I think Hits. I think I would really like to play like a really optimal Hit, but I don't really know him yet. I would really like a Majin Buu so I can play a Kid Buu, Majin Buu, Android 21 type team. I wish I had a really good Frieza. Really good Yamcha, because Frieza UI was a show that I played before that was kind of really fun, and now UI is really good. So yeah, there's so many characters. I still want to learn everyone, you know? Alright, thank you, sir. But tips on rejump. So I have a combo learning strategy that will blow your minds. Grab your controller. Do I have a controller? Grab your controller, right? Don't have the game on. Don't have the game on. You can have the game on. What am I talking about? Essentially, don't look at the screen. Like, you can close your eyes and then input, like, the combo. Like, you can go, like, see my controller? I can go, like, I'm not looking. I can go 2M, 5M jump. 2M, 5M jump. Alright, so practice that without any visual inputs first, so I can get the pattern down, and then once you get the pattern, go on the game, and then it'll be a lot easier to do that. So for rejumps, you're gonna press like 5H, super dash, 66, JM, 669, right? Practice that input. Practice the dash M, dash jump, dash M. Keep doing this without looking at the screen, and then go on the screen, you know, go on 21. There's a bunch of different rejump guys, but in general, practicing your combos without looking at the screen and then taking a break, bro. Breaks help combo development a lot. So, you know, every day for 5-10 minutes, practice the combo, you know, quick warm up without looking at the screen, then you try it on the screen. If you don't get it, just take a break. Next day, go back to it, and then that'll really help with learning combos. In Dragon Ball FighterZ, how do you get out the corner? One of the hardest things is when you're getting pressured all the time, right? I have a video on how to escape pressure, but there's a lot of different tools. Like, the biggest thing is understand their patterns. So notice what they like to do, because if they like to 50-50 you in like a true string gap list, understand that you can guard cancel specials. Some 50-50s do have guard cancelable proof strings, but then you can guard cancel vanish. If they do, you know, faker 50-50 super dash plus assist, if you know there's a pattern they like to repeat, you can 2H it, you can reflect it. If they're 6M, you know, increase your reactions, and then you can start doing like super jumps out of those gaps or calling out those big gaps as well. Just getting good at defense. And honestly, if you get better at neutral, then you'll spend less time blocking. As for guides, will I make 21? Will I make Roshi? All those ones? Yeah, like the plan is to cover everyone. And I do have a list with priorities and stuff. I do want to continue over that list. And of course, if people help me with guides, they come out way faster, bro. They come out way faster. But hopefully the goal is to cover everyone on the channel. And then that can help everyone, you know, kind of tap into character mastery with whoever that they want. Obviously, it takes time. I feel like I want to do more than just combo guys. I also want to do pressure and neutral. For the full guys though, those ones are going to be reserved for characters who don't really have other resources, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, on my boy. Thank you, homie. And watch some Bardock people. Boy! You know what's crazy? Bardock used to be like one of my favorite characters, like in the lore, right? I played him in other games, Xenoverse, I played him. In Dragon Ball FighterZ though, he's kind of like Gogeta. I don't know. I've never like vibed with the playstyle. I like him, but I've never like been that attached. Because in Dragon Ball, my favorite characters in Dragon Ball, Gogeta, Bardock, and then in Dragon Ball FighterZ, I don't know, maybe it's because I've seen so many of them, right? Bardock ran a whole meta, Gogeta's ever online, so maybe just because I've seen so much of them in the game that I kind of tend to like the characters that are underrepresented. I don't know. But with that being said, man, thank y'all for hanging out with your boy. It was fun answering these questions, and if you guys have any follow-up questions, comment it down below and I'll just answer it with like a nice comment. I appreciate all of y'all, man, especially those who keep up with like the variety content too. Hopefully we can also get more streams and stuff, more variety. I think it'll be fun. I think this channel can grow. This channel has potential, so we'll see where that goes. With that being said, man, peace.